Beautiful peoples, welcome. Welcome to Hood Philosophy, where we're going to talk about and maybe even discuss some of life's biggest questions in a way that clicks with people from all walks of life. So I'm talking about the hustlers, I'm talking about the teachers, I'm talking about the single mums, maybe even the single dads, those on the recovery journey, maybe you even sleeping rough, mental health issues, the too hard baskets. That's who we're looking to talk to. So my name's Z, and today's episode will be about shame. But before we get stuck into that one, I'd just like to give thanks first and foremost to all you beautiful peoples for taking the time of the day just to listen and to watch me carry on about all these very important issues. Let's just check the mic. Mic's on. Lovely. All right, yeah. So, what else would I like to give thanks for? What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for community. I'm grateful for my toothbrush. I'm grateful for my pillowcase. I'm grateful for the opportunity just to be here and send out that love, and hopefully create a ripple. That it just keeps carrying on, carrying on, carrying on, because that love's going to come back. All right, let's get into it. So, first, I'd just like to shout out the brother Ben. He lives a couple houses down from me. Let's just start off with Ben is very, very similar to me. So, it wasn't a surprise when we automatically clicked. Ben's a provider, he's a protector. Let's keep it real. He's one of the best dads that I know. This fella, he sometimes he works 12-hour, 13, 14, 15-hour days, and the bro's still making time to spend that quality time with his kids. Not just spend time with his kids, he makes sure that it's quality. He's always teaching, he's always guiding. You know what I just realized? Ben's a natural born leader, right? I don't think he's realized that. So, bro, the world's your oyster. That's why you're always dropping the wisdom, and it, you're just always there, eh? Like you you're you're the perfect example of a mate that everybody wants. That yeah, bro, I'm blessed to know you. CEO shrugged a shoulder a little bit then, but I'm blessed to know you, eh? Like you're always there for me and my family, especially to eat my food, leave my palau alone. That's mine. Anyway, bro, much love to you. Big love to your beautiful family. You're too much, too strong. All right, so I support a fella called Bryce. He's given me permission to say his name on this awesome podcast. Speaking of awesome podcasts, check out the Nothing But Love podcast. We up on YouTube. We just dropped a third episode the other day, and we were talking about self-discipline and a little bit of self-worth. It's like a 90-minute conversation, so there's lots in there, lots of wisdom, lots of little pieces of information that might click with you and inspire some growth, maybe some motivation. But back to Bryce. So Bryce is a 22-year-old young male that I've worked for going on 7 months now. I'm guiding Bryce into a man, and the level of growth that the fella has seen in the last 7 months is I dare say there's not many people that could say that they've grown that much in that short amount of time, and that's because of him. He puts in that hard work. I I push him. Sometimes I push him to the limits. I go stand right on the edge of that line, and I see how far we can go. And you know what? That's where we get the most growth from. Like the tough conversations that I've had with Bryce, I, I'm delivering it in a way that speaks to his heart, speaks to his soul, but clicks with his mind. Because let me tell you right now, if you've got a message to deliver and you're not delivering it the right way, and you don't care about how you're delivering it, why the fuck are you trying to send the message in the first place? That's a waste of your time and your energy. Anyway, I brought up Bryce because I'd like to shout out his mum, Joe. I just finished training with Joe. She made me do an ab workout, a core workout straight after I'd done a 10K run. She is a beast, eh? She looked like a timid old lady, but she will fuck you up. Woo-hoo-wee. Too much, too much. All right. So the second of my three core values after respect is authenticity. What does authenticity mean to me? It's a mode of being. You can't just switch it on and switch it off. Sacrifice. See, when you are true to yourself, it means you don't compromise on them core values. And quite often that can mean sacrifice. That mean like yeah, say for example, something doesn't sit with you right, and you go tell your mate, bro, what you said unacceptable. I don't know if we can carry on down this path if we can't have a discussion in regards to where that came from. You know. All right. So, what could be the end result of that conversation? Well, the sacrifice in regards to that one is you could stop being friends with that person, and that's because you're unwilling to compromise on your core values. And for me, that's what authenticity is. It's because you've laid a solid foundation for yourself. You know who you are. You know who you used to be, and if you forget where you came from, how the fuck are you gonna know where you're going, right? Because it especially when it comes a little bit tough, it keeps you humble, and you need that. And that's and for me, that's a part of authenticity as well. And obviously, this is for me. But mode of being, right? You can't switch it off. So, it, and that's and it's not a matter of keeping it real all the time. It is real all the time, warts and all. You know, and that's why I say, hate me, love me, you will respect me because I know who I am and I'm fucking cool. You know, I'm proud of who I am. I'll keep it real with you. I've done things in my life that I can never make up for. Do I regret them things? No, I don't regret them things. Do I feel shame in regards to them things? Yeah, I have some internal shame in regards to some of the things that I've done in my life, and I think that's okay. I think that's the consequence of my actions, right? They rippled into the universe, and now that's my burden to carry. And what do you do with a burden that doesn't need to be carried? You let it go. But for me, I'm not sure that I'm I'm ready and willing to let that go just yet because it, it keeps me mindful, eh? I don't want to be a shit cut ever again. These days, I can say I'm a half decent husband. I'm a half decent father. Not a bad son. Yeah, I don't know what mum would say, but hey, but I know who I am. And not only that, people know who I am in regards to where they stand with me, how to communicate with me, and that's because of me. I've educated them by implementing boundaries with these people, you know, with people that I care about, people that I don't care too much about, people that I love, people that I don't like, people that I just like a little bit. It, you have to implement the boundaries. And and once you find your true self, because keep it real, I'm very blessed in regards to being able to walk as my authentic self, eh? Because lots of us never get there. Lots of us never get there. Okay, why do lots of us never get there? Shame. Shame. Where does shame come from? A feeling of not good enough, wanting to, fit in, and not always to be part of like the cool cats, just to belong, to feel accepted, because that at the end of the day, and this is why this is so profound, because the one thing that human beings, every single fucking human being in this world, all 8 billion of us, don't forget that we're specks of dust. Every single human being craves connection. They crave to belong to something. Otherwise, there's no purpose. And that's why in the world that we live in these days, the sense of shame is even more profound in regards to the online world and social media and the like the sources of shame have blown exponentially, right? You can not only do you get it from your parents, your teachers, your coaches, your peers, your loved ones. You get it from these fucking keyboard warriors who don't know shit about life. Their idea of life is sitting behind the keyboard and tap, 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 talk some shit, stir the pot, stir the pot, stir the pot. But when you send that rubbish out into the world, that rubbish coming back for you, let me tell you right now, to all you keyboard warriors out there, you know, I don't get it. So where does shame come from? So wanting to belong, wanting to fit in. You know where else it comes from? And I know I started with it, but not feeling good enough, eh? Whether that be for yourself, whether that be your loved ones, whether that be your favorite teacher at school, whether that be anyone. It can be anyone, even when you're in the gym and you're pumping some weights, and then you look over at the bro and he's pumping double what you pump, and then you're like, oh, I'm not good enough. And then all of a sudden the internal chatter starts and it doesn't stop, does it? I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. Well, you do internalize it and you create a story in your fucking head. And like a little bit of a caveat, who gives a fuck about the bro sitting next to you in the gym? Give him a pat on the shoulder, that's good for you, bro. And if that's something that you want to do, well, you're gonna have to work hard. There's no point feeling shit because you haven't reached the level of what the bro's doing. No, just put in that hard work and slowly, slowly you'd be like the bro and you'd be pumping weights with him. All right, shame, shame, shame. Shame's not a word I use in my household anymore. I'm a very big believer in the power of language and the words that we use. And I think this is in regards to this one, and I touched on it in the previous episodes, that this is what it's about. Like in regards to shame and the words that we use. Sometimes when our mates and our or the missus or the kid makes a mistake, sometimes it's just the look on our faces that like the look of disappointment, and we got to be conscious of this. Even like like some subtle things we say. These kids pick up on it. They're not dumb. They feel our energy. And that's why when someone makes a mistake in front of us, just like show love because mistakes are beautiful. It's the foundation of growth. Literally, think about it. Mistakes, the foundation of growth. I'd love to say that they're my words, but I feel like I feel like that comes from somewhere else. I've read that somewhere. Mistakes are the foundation of growth. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so where does shame come from? For me, not feeling like you're good enough. Okay, and then that internalization of that feeling, and then that creates the story in the head, and then that leads to the fear. What does the fear lead to? If it leads to anxiety, and it leads to shame, and it leads to procrastination, and it's like a big fucking never ending vicious cycle. It's vicious. You think about it. Think about what shame stops us from doing. Not not just the hard things. And don't get me wrong, for me, it's all about the hard things, but the things that we love, the things that we love. Like, imagine if I didn't start writing poetry. I'm a fucking good poet. But imagine if I didn't start that shit because I felt like, you know, the bro I sent it to, oh, he's not gonna like it. Fuck, who cares? It's for me. I'm writing the poetry. I'm writing the poetry. But in regards to that, I heard on a podcast the other day someone say it's not a poet's job to be poetic. It's just to put out work. And the people that consume that poetry, they're the ones that decide that it's poetic. And I like that. I like that because I can just churn out the poems, churn out the poems, churn out the poems. I love it. Like, I love it. I love it. Okay. So back to shame. Today it's going to be about the hood and some of the unwritten rules that exist in the hood that lead to the feeling of shame and isolation and loneliness. And you could say creates that me against the world chip on the shoulder. But before that, I've got a quote. I've got a quote for everybody, eh? And it's from Leon C. Megginson. So he was a business professor at the University of Louisiana back in the 50s and 60s. Why did I put the phone down? Dope, dope, dope. It is not the most intellectual of the species that survives. It is not the strongest. The species that survives is the one that is able to best to adapt. That was a word salad. I'm going to read it again. My apologies. It is not the most intellectual of the species that survives. It is not the strongest. The species that survives is the one that is able best to adapt. I was just telling the brother Tim, one of my biggest strengths is being able to adjust and adapt to environments, to interactions, whether it be people from all walks of life. I can hold my own in a room full of doctors and lawyers and CEOs, business owners. You know, they think their shit don't stink. And then I go back to the hood and I talk, go talk to the hood cats, and 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 that I can hold my own. Same goes for work. So I turn boys into men. I'm a support worker. A lot of the time, I've worked with people that have challenging behaviors. I know it sounds funny, and these fellas get up to all kinds of things. Every single fucking day is different, and that's what makes it one of my biggest strengths. I can adapt. I and let's keep it real. I've done this a long time, but I can adapt, adjust, and adapt. This is my personal motto: is adjust and adapt, adjust and adapt, adjust and adapt. Whether it be place, environment, weather, people, animals, adjust and adapt. Someone said in the group today, what was it? What was it? Consistent. Oh, let me check, eh? I'll show you fellas the group. Would you like to see the group? I reckon, eh? You can't see the group? Oh, that's all right. Okay, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Consistent under pressure. For me, that's all about adapting. Oof, it's very powerful. Okay, so unwritten rules in the hood. There's fucking heaps of them, man. It's it's insane. And I was writing about it today. And you know the word that I used? Suffocating. And that's why so many hood cats never find their true selves because they're not allowed to be their true selves. If like I can only speak to Anala, but you don't have the luxury of being soft, eh? Either you rough or you tough. You can hack it. Like you get punched in the mouth. Like you can take heaps of shit. It's hard to explain, but that's the point, eh? That's what we're gonna get into. So it's suffocating. And again, what does every single human being want and crave in this life? It's connection and to belong and to feel up to par with your peers, the people around you. And when you and like when you're in a rough, rugged, raw place, there's an expectation for everything. So the way you speak, the slang that you use, the clothes that you wear, the hats that you wear, your fucking haircut. I wrote down about like public displays of affection, holding the missus' hand when you're walking down the street, bro. You get put on the bitch for that. Keep it real. Keep it real. Because I was thinking, oh yeah, like I dare say this happens in other like communities and other places, but no, like you get taken to task for that one. Heaps of different shit. So like books, being smart, you know, because generally education isn't the biggest priority. Good education, right? Because there's no fucking good education around. It's gotten much better. Oh, Glenalla High. Glenalla High, shout out to Glenalla High, one of the better state high schools in Queensland right now, which is pretty fucking cool because it was let's not get into that one, eh? All right. So I'm gonna use a personal example. And it was when I quit crack. You almost feel like there's something wrong with you because you want to better your life. That's how motherfuckers make you feel. And I know like it's not their intention, but fuck intentions, right? Like that's just how you feel. You like, you know, one day you're kicking it with the people you love. No judgment. No judgment because you're the same as them, like you know different. We were all just crackheads. But then, bang, you have the realization that you want to be better and you want to do better. No, you just don't want to be a shit cunt anymore. And people look at you funny like, hey, why? And I know they consuming drugs, but don't judge motherfuckers for that. We all struggle with addiction, whether it be, coffee, sugar, like minus the drugs, tobacco. There's so many of them, like we could go on and on and on and on and on and on when it comes to addiction. Like that's something that's very close to my heart, and we will be touching on addiction in hood philosophy. But today's not the day. But yeah, I had to. I just because they won't go out of their way to make sure that nothing's around when you come around. And I know, like, why the fuck should they? But that just leads to fuck, man. You end up having to cut off the people that you love and like the people that you care most and the people that are fucking, right here and they're never gonna leave here. But you got to leave them. You just got to cut them. And it sounds so fucking ruthless. And at the time you feel so much shame because you don't fit in with the crowd anymore, and they think of you differently, and they think you're a pussy. Like, I pardon the language, but I dare say everybody that watches this this podcast knows what I mean in regards to that one. Yeah, and not everybody, but the fellas that you fuck with, like lots of the fellas that you think are your brothers, you try and be better, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, why you want to talk shit to me like that for? Yeah, but that's a personal one. What else? Okay, so this is an interesting one. Lots. So when so when you do crime in the hood, not everybody's the same, right? Everybody got their little stick. So, some fellas rob houses, some fellas rob shops, some fellas sell drugs, some fellas sell hats, some fellas sell stolen shit. Um, and most fellas that sell shit, right? And most fellas that hit cunts. Like that's yeah. You kind of have. Well, anyway, for me, it was selling stuff, hustling, drugs, hats, sneakers, all kinds of shit. Whatever, whatever came through the door that day. I'm not sure how this relates to shame, but anyway, it'll come back. Not like we'll loop back. And we've already looped back. So I was a useless robber. 12 years old, I was 100 kilos, 6 foot. I was fucking massive, Like, and then by the time I'm 15, 16, and 17, 18, fellas are asking me to fucking do sneaks with them and breaking enters with them. And it's like, nah, I'm too scared. And sometimes I'd even tell them, like, I'm too scared. But like the shame that you feel, it and then for days after it, fuck man, sometimes for years, sometimes you see these fathers and the first thing they remember is like, hey, remember when you fucking, shame, you cat fella. And that puts you on the cat, that puts you on the pussy, that puts you on the weak. But that's okay. I'm tough. I'm tough where it counts. But it's fucking it's funny, like it's funny to think about the amount of times that I shit myself. um, but then like I've seen fellas that are rough and fellas that are tough shit themselves in different situations that what they weren't used to, and then I'd engage in the same bullshit game and say shame, you know, you pussy, you shit cat, you weak. And it's just this never ending cycle, and it's part of the unwritten rules that I spoke of before, and they suffocate you, man, because like you got to look good, you got to sound hood, you you know, you want to give the missus a little kiss in public. No, 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 no. You gotta make sure nobody's seeing you. Hey, and it's suffocating. It fucking looking back. It's like wow, there there's so many unwritten rules that we have to deal with that are just set in stone that come from having nothing. Because that's what it comes from. Is is when you got fuck all you got is your pride, And when you walk, when you're in the hood and you walk as a man, how do you walk as a man? Is you walk with your fists, you know. Every now and again, you might use your mouth to de-escalate a situation, but more often than not, you're using your mouth to tell someone to fuck off. Um, you don't talk to police. You just don't be a pussy, and that's the problem. We're stunting so many beautiful fucking men's growth, and we don't even see it. We've got to flip that script. It's we can't keep continuing down this path. And I'm talking to you, hoodcats, the hoodcats, because a term quite often used is hood rat, And you know what a hood rat is? It's the you know it's the scum of society, and it's usually because they're a so-called junkie, which is another word that gets thrown around to make an addict feel like a piece of shit. Because for like, what's a junkie? Junkie to me is someone that fucking, you know, Boots up. Needles have never been for me. Not scared of them. I always knew where that line was. That's why we're doing this shit right now. Because I realized. Because I realized that I couldn't go down that path. I was already down the path, but I just realized that I had to get off it. And it's a very personal episode, isn't it? Isn't it? The mic's still on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not quite done yet. I know that we're coming up to half an hour. Shame. Shame, shame, shame. Fuck. It's a heartbreaking topic, eh? It's so profound. I ask all you beautiful peoples to, because I was just thinking about like, how do we flip the script on like people feeling shame? And I have a challenge that I want to put out. I'm done with in regards to how it goes with the hood and whatnot, and I'm gonna wrap up the show. But I ask you, beautiful peoples, to just ask yourselves, when have I made somebody else feel shame because they couldn't do something, or they made a mistake, or they failed at something? When did you dig the boot in? That's what I want you fellas to ask yourselves today. All right. So before the poll, just like to give thanks for you beautiful peoples, beautiful family, culture, connection, family. That's love, greatness. We too fucking strong. Always remember that. Join me. Let's walk in greatness. It's a mode of being, just like authenticity. I don't know why I keep looking at myself today. All right. I should have the poem ready, but I'd rather not. It's going to be a recent one. A recent one. All right, you ready? Why the fuck do I have no imagination? Why do I treat death as a celebration? Am I misunderstood or a genuine walking contradiction? A couple of interactions have got me thinking. Don't come at me unprepared. I'll make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Motionless, almost sinking. Why am I feeling this way? It seems like there's something that I want to say. It's bubbling just under the surface. Interesting. There's been lots of talk about passion and purpose. Sometimes I feel like a caged lion at the circus, ready to pounce straight for your heart. Maybe I want to rip your worlds apart. Day and night, feel my might, hear my roar, fight or flight. I can feel your judgment and unnecessary spite. I sit peacefully with the darkness. Your ego is blind to the light. There's a reason I have no imagination. There's always an explanation. Maybe it's a combination. Is it open to interpretation? I don't think so, but I'm coming straight for your soul. Don't be scared. Sit with me in meditation and feel the power of transformation, of salvation, dignity, and self respect, where culture and community intersect. It's okay that I see death as a celebration. Those that came before me, I look to for inspiration. I like that I have no imagination. Come and sit. Let's have a conversation. Beautiful peoples, have a fucking blessed day, morning, evening. Thank you. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful journey. Choo! Peace.